Today we are going to discuss major intracellular and extracellular electrolytes. The outlines which we are going to cover are the introduction and the composition of human body, bicarbonate ions and the replacement therapy of sodium replacement, potassium, calcium replacement and physiological acid-base balance and some factors which are responsible for the pH, maintaining the pH of extracellular fluids like electrolytes combination therapy and all. These are the topics which we are going to discuss in this unit. So we'll begin from the introduction part. Body consists of about 70% of water. Intracellular fluids, inside that some is intracellular fluid which is inside the cell, and extracellular water which is outside the cell. So extracellular and intracellular are the body fluids which are available outside or inside the cells. Okay. Tissues surrounding cells, blood, plasma, lymph and ECF. 2/3 of the body weight is water, 1/3 of water is within the cell and 1/3 water is available as in the extracellular in the tissue surrounding the cells. 25% interstitial fluid ISF, 5 to 8% in plasma IVF intravascular fluid, 1 to 2% transcellular fluid CSF intraocular fluid, serous membrane, GIT, respiratory and urinary tract. This is the actually position, you can see the availability of the fluid in overall body. So composition of human body you can see as protein composition, lipids, minerals, carbohydrate, miscellaneous, and the intracellular fluid and the extracellular fluid, plasma and some in form of solids and interstitial fluids which inside. So this is actually the composition of human body where water exists. This is the body water, 8% plasma, 25% interstitial fluid, 2% transcellular fluid and intracellular fluid is 65%. So overall the major water bodies, the major availability of water is inside the cell. So intracellular, cells are moist and available fluid is composition of water. So intracellular fluid, which kind of electrolytes are found inside the cell or outside the cell is in the position of intracellular and that extracellular. That we will discuss. And what are electrolytes actually? Intracellular fluid is 63%, that's about to 65, and a membrane of the cells, some water is available outside. So overall it is 65%. Okay, some fluid is available in plasma, some fluid is available in limbs, some fluid is inside and some fluid is outside. So 37% it is extracellular. Okay, so now we just discuss about the compartment for the fluids, in which compartment fluids are available. So intracellular fluids inside the cell, most of the body fluid here is 63%. Decrease is elderly. How? Aging is going on, water level inside the cell is reducing. Extracellular fluid outside the cell, intravascular fluid within the blood cell 5%. Interstitial fluid between the cell and the blood vessels. Okay, interstitial means a cell wall between the cell and the blood vessels. That is about to 50%. Transcellular fluid, cerebrospinal or pericardial or synovial fluid. This kind of fluid is transcellular. So, these are the outside the cell and inside the cell. This is the positioning, or you see this is the composition. So two compartment we have, the one is intra, another is extra. Okay. Electrolytes, what is electrolytes? Electrolytes are the substance that dissolve in the solution, okay, and able to carry out the electric current, that we called. Positively charged electrolytes ion are called cations and negatively charged electrolytes ions are called anions. Okay, so potassium ion, sodium ion, magnesium ion, calcium ion, that all are the positively charged ions or the cations, and chlorine ion, carbonate ion, phosphate ion, that all are the negatively charged ion, chloride ions, that all are negatively charged ions. So number of cations must equal to the number of anions for the homeostasis exists in the fluid compartment. So how many number of anions are available should be equal to the number of cations. Okay. Actually, what is the availability of these electrolyte? Why these are required for the human body and in the body fluid? Which kind of electrolytes are available? That we will discuss in this unit. So electrolytes which is available in the body fluid compartments are potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, and sodium chloride and carbonate, hydrogen carbonate. So the ions which are available inside the cells are the potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, and extracellular outside the cell sodium, chlorine and carbonate, and somehow phosphates also. So we'll discuss the exactly availability, where these exist, and what is the basic function of these extracellular, intracellular electrolytes. What happens when this electrolytes reduce in the body? Okay, that we'll discuss. And basically everybody knows about the sodium ions and the potassium and the chloride ion. If chloride ion reduce, if the sodium ion reduce in the body, hyponatremia can be possible. If it induce or it is in higher amount, it will hypernatremia. Okay, and both the conditions are not correct for the human body. So body fluid required a optimum amount, or you can say an appropriate amount of electrolytes in their fluids, respective places, whether it is intracellular or the extracellular. Difference in the concentration of iron on different sides of the cell membrane result the metabolic activity of the cell. So inside the cell or the outside the cell, okay, inside the cell or the cytoplasm, a reaction is going on that is called osmosis. Osmosis, okay, osmosis is going on regularly. Ions are migrating from inside the cell to outside the cell, or their fluid is migrating from this side to that side. This migration is the process of osmosis. Okay, and difference the concentration. When the sodium ion concentration is outside the cell is higher, inside the cell is lower, it will migrate from higher to lower. Okay, and cell will shrink or cell will swell. If suppose sodium chloride concentration is outside the cell is high and inside the cell is less, then concentration water will come, that sodium chloride water will come inside the cell and the cell will swell. Okay, and the blood pressure will low. In the opposite phenomena takes place, suppose that inside the cell is concentration is higher and outside the cell is concentration is low, then water will be move from here. Somehow it will shrink, somehow it will be, I said oppositely. So if concentration is higher in outside the cell, it will shrink, concentration is lower inside the cell, concentration is higher inside the cell, it will swell. So both the conditions takes place. In general, it is very general and it is very common phenomena which people has feel in general life. Whenever a person is consuming food which is having higher amount of salt, feel thirsty because of till the time extracellular fluid is not having concentration equal to the intracellular fluid, the person is feeling thirst, and when this thirst is complete, then the isotonic solution has been generated. And what is isotonic solution? Inside the cell and the outside the cell concentration will equal. So that is actually isotonicity. And when this isotonicity is generated, then there is no issue, there is no problem in the metabolic activity. But if it is difference, if the difference is major or the severe, it will create drastic issues. Amount of potassium in the body determine the volume of ICF as a chief intracellular cation. It is highly mandatory, a potassium channel opener. So these are potassium, a regular potassium channel is there. From there the potassium ions are migrating. Amount of sodium in the body determine the volume of ECF as chief extracellular protein. So sodium outside the cell and potassium inside the cell is working. In electrolyte disturbance, primary concern is the concentration of various ion and the interrelation of positivity and negatively charged ions with one another than actual number. So basically these ions are interrelated to each other. Suppose sodium is connected with a chlorine and a salt is sodium chloride which we are using. So somehow sodium and chlorine both, when it is dissolved in the water, it is broken down in the sodium ion, the chloride ion. Both the ions are actually interrelated to each other. Thank you very much. This topic is much more elaborated. We'll discuss something related to this topic. What is the basic function of sodium? What is the basic function of potassium? And where it is work? And what happened when the these electrolysis came, when these ions are high in amount? Which kind of medical situations created when these ions are lesser in amount? Which kind of medical scenarios created and what is the actually problems created in that, and what is the basic functions of that ion? That all we'll discuss in this unit. Thank you very much.